was a lady. I'm going back to see those Coney country cousins of mine.
Well, hello, folks, and welcome to a brand new series, Hometown. Now, over the next few weeks, we'll be visiting towns all over the British Isles, and our guests will be the folks who live in those towns. Now, we'll be showing them, and you as well, films and photographs, and they'll be remembering what their hometowns were like, and indeed, what life was like for all of us. I'll be singing the occasional song, and I think altogether we're going to have a series of smashing half hours. Now, our hometown this week is Darlington, and to tell us all about the place, a dozen or so delightful Darlingtonians, and there they are.
Thank you.
Nice to see you all. Good. Now, Darlington, of course, is famous for its railway. Now, the whole thing started when the Durham mine owners decided they could make more money if they cut the expensive costs of transporting their coal to the port of Stockton. So in 1821, a bill was passed to have a new railway built. Now, the original idea, apparently, was supposed to be that horses would be pulling the trucks along there. But a young engineer, George Stephenson, so the story says, walked barefoot from his home in Killingworth, and when he got to Darlington, he put his boots on and made a search for a man called Edward Pearce. Now, Edward Pearce wouldn't see him at first, but eventually they got together, and Stephenson convinced him that the thing to do was use steam. So, on the 27th of September, 1825, the Stockton to Darlington line was opened, and the rest, as they say, was history. Now, 100 years later, to mark the event, they had a gala centenary celebration, attended by the then Duke and Duchess of York, who later, of course, became King George VI and our own Queen Mum. Have a look at this.
Darlington, the original terminus of the first permanent way ever, the Stockton and Darlington Railway. And on platform 1, you see the actual engines, not just copies, used in the earliest days. There's locomotion number 1, for instance, the first to be used on a public railway. At the opening of the Stockton and Darlington line in 1825, George Stephenson himself drove it, hauling a train of 90 tons for 18 miles. Then there's the Derwent, built in 1845 for the same company, a smashing affair that's quite up to date in comparison with the old number 1.
Now, I've seen the real thing.
How do you mean?
I happened to be in Darlington during the railway centenary celebrations in 1925. You could scarcely get near the place for people. The King and Queen were there. They were the Duke and Duchess of York in those days. And young Albert unveiled the plaque commemorating the spot where the very first railway ticket was ever issued. And afterwards, there was a pageant, with our future King and Queen occupying the railside seats. Everything got cheered, of course, but there was an extra clap for the old locomotion number 1, driven just as George Stephenson drove it, but without, of course, the horseman in front who carried a red flag.
Well, I don't know about you at home, but certainly all of us here recognise someone in that. When we were all shouting out, look, there's old Stan, we were shouting out. There he was. Now, Stan, why were you at those celebrations?
There were 2 grandstands put up at early noon. The first one was for the Duke and Duchess of York and the VIPs. The other one was just for invited guests. Among those invited guests, there were 9 of them men who used to work for the Stockton and Darlington Railway.
The original?
Yes, and my grandfather was one of them. Now, each of those men were allowed an attendant. So, but obviously, I was my grandfather's attendant. Therefore, I was on that second stand. And, of course, came the parade itself. Well, now, one would expect locomotion to be first, but it wasn't. The reason it wasn't capable of holding steam.
Oh, yeah.
So what they did, they put a petrol engine in the tender to drive it.
Yeah.
And then workmen put oily rags in the firebox to create smoke.
What about that?
No,
We're getting all the secrets
The
here.
mechanical engineer was still afraid if it was at the front and it broke down, there would be problems. Therefore, it was the last in the brigade.
Well, what a day for you, eh, Stan?
It was.
Well, it's smashing to see you, Stan, and that you've got such marvellous memories of that. It was a day and a half, wasn't it? A real day of history,
Yes,
I should
sure,
think.
it was.
Now, Greta, what memories do you have of that particular day?
Well, as a little schoolgirl, I went to the bottom of our road, which branched off onto the main road coming from the town, and which the Duke and Duchess were coming along to go to the Faverdale wagon works, which were laid on for a good reception and all the rest. And I'm standing there and see this car coming down. I don't know what I expected to see, somebody in royal robes and a crown or what. But the Duchess had on a little skull cap with a big feather pom-pom at the side in a sort of greenish shade. I can remember this. And that became the fashion for months after. Everybody had little skull caps with big pom-poms on.
Really?
And the Duke was made up like somebody on the stage.
Really?
Real makeup, lipstick and the lot, and I couldn't take my eyes off him as he went by.
Do you know, I always thought he was Danny LaRue's father. I really did. Now, well, you see, what was Darlington, the town, like in those days? Now, Reenie, can I come to you, love?
Yeah.
Where did you actually live?
In Bongate, of one of the yards.
One of the yards?
One of the yards in Bongate,
Yeah.
where we had no facilities at all, outside taps, toilets, and, you know, the houses all back to back and yards, and but everyone was friendly and neighbourly, and there were hard times, but there were happy times in
What rent would they charge you for one of those places?
about a shilling.
Shilling a week?
Well, 5 pence in today's money, but a shilling was a lot of money then,
Yeah.
because, I mean, we were mill girls and we only used to earn 6, 7 shillings a week for a full week's work from 7:30 till 5:30.
Go on.
That's right. So therefore, to pay a shilling a week rent was a lot of money.
That's right. And some people even tried to get out of paying the rent, didn't they?
Well, you see, these houses, they were only up and down. If you sometimes you used to have 2 bedrooms. But if the rent man come to the front door, your mother used to go out the back door. So,
Yes, they did, or be hid behind the door.
yeah,
Say your mum's got and your
your
mother's
mum's
not
not
here.
in.
And she's got your arm up your back, has she, like that?
Oh,
Gladys, then.
Yeah.
Now, Bob, you used to have a stall in the market,
Yes.
didn't you? Well, tell us about the market in them days.
Tell you what, in those days, we were one big happy family in the market, you know.
Yeah. You worked for your gran, didn't you, originally there, Bob?
Oh, yes, my old grandmother. Well, it was her stall, you see.
Yeah.
She worked in the market till she was, well, just about 3 weeks off 90-year-old.
Oh,
And I took over from then.
Yeah.
Yes.
So were you still at school when you were working for her
Oh,
then?
yes. Well, what happened, I used to have 1 day off a week. That used to be, I used to go to school on the Monday morning, get me mark, and my old grandmother lived just down the street, and as she come to the market, she used to call at school for me, and I used to go down the market and open the stall out with her.
And they didn't mind at school?
No, well, the schoolmaster used to give me the full mark for the day, you see. He was very good. He knew what was happening.
Good for the old schoolmaster, eh?
Yes.
Now, how about the schools in Darlington? Now, Norman, what was the Jubilee Ragged School?
Well, the Jubilee Ragged School, actually, it was an evening class that was run by a Mr. Annick in Darlington. And the reason why it was called the Jubilee Ragged School, its original name is the Jubilee School. But it was because it was for children of poor parents. And it was one thing, it helped to keep us off the streets, give us a bit of nice entertainment. And once a year, we were taken to Redcar for a day's holiday.
What about that?
Yes. And what used to happen, we used to all form up like soldiers, and we had luggage labels fastened on our lapels with our names
Just like today,
on.
you mean, Norman, really?
Yes. They were going to send us off by post, I think. So anyway, we had to march up the railway station with our luggage labels on, with our names on. And then we got onto the train. It was to more or less to let them know that we were the people that were going on this trip. That was the idea.
The poor
And we were the
people.
poor people of the town.
Oh, I see, yeah. Now, Anne, can I come to you, love? Because how about theatre trips at Christmas?
Oh, yes. Well, we were very poor and we had nothing at Christmas time. And they used to have these Christmas parties, you know, when you were, so many were picked out of the family. Happened to be 11 of us, you know, a lot. So there was only 2 out of our family could go. And I tell you, we used to start at the theatre, or the Hippodrome rather, start at the very top. And then first you got a carrier. And they started each up. There were people were at each lot of stairs, orange, apple, bag of cakes, everything, until you got right to the bottom, and then you got a new penny. This bag, lovely. Never bothered about what was on the theatre. Just
Very good for the pros, that was, Norman, wasn't it? They must have thoroughly enjoyed that lot coming in, wasn't they? All they wanted to do was eat. Now, really, your dad was a chimney sweep, wasn't
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, he was a good chimney sweep. I'm not putting him down at all. But if he'd been out the night before and had a skinful of beer, he wouldn't go out and sweep the chimney. Or if he swept his chimney and then went and had a skinful then, and he was coming round what we called Portland Place at the time, he used to say, "Hey, up, he's Billy and he's drunk." So therefore he got nicknamed the Drunken Chimney Sweep.
He was
you see.
known all over Darlington.
Mind, he was a good worker. I won't. He was a good worker when he was sober. But he was all right.
Amazing what flues he put the brush up, wasn't it? What he done a few.
He was good at his job. I've been with him many a time, helping him to push his brushes.
Now, Norman, I remember there was a story, wasn't it, about a woman buying beer on tick?
Oh, yes, yes. Well, in Borough Road where I lived, it was a sort of the end house, and we had a staircase window, which was in the end of the house. Now, just looking over towards the right-hand side of Borough Road was Smith Peacock's public house. And this lady used to take a jug in and get a pint of beer, and then go round the back lane, drink the beer, come back again, go over to the public house, get another pint of beer in the jug, and then take it into the house, and she used to share it with the gentleman that she went for the beer for. So she was getting a pint and a half of beer to his half pint. And we always called her the one I adore. Yeah.
He wouldn't have done if he'd have known, would he?
No.
One way of doing it, isn't it? And how many were there in your family?
11 children.
11 children?
Yeah, my mother, father, 13 with it altogether.
And your mum and dad?
Yeah.
Now, your mum didn't have time to do much else then, did she? But look after you, love.
Oh, you were on about when I was pulled up at the... when I was going to school, and this lady had been at the school, and she seen me in the playground. She said, "Are you so-and-so?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Can you tell me what your mother's like?" And I said, "Oh, yes." She said, "Oh," I said, "she's a great big fat woman." And she said, "Oh, is she?" I said, "Yes, that's right." But I said that, but never realising that my mother was always expecting.
Great big fat woman. Right, well, let's finish then, shall we, this first half with a little tribute, especially for Anne's mum. I mean, quite honestly, it's far too late to give her any advice, that's for sure. Now, Mrs. Moore, who lives next door, she is a dear old soul. Of children, she's a score or more. Her old man's on the dole. How she manages to keep that lot, I can't be sure. So I said to her yesterday, as she stood at the door, "Don't have any more, Mrs. Moore. Mrs. Moore, please don't have any more. The more you have, the more you want, they say. But enough is as good as a feast any day. If you have many more, Mrs. Moore, you'll have to rent the house next door. They're all right when they're here, but take my advice, oh dear. Oh, don't have any more, Mrs. Moore." And in a minute, there's more.